Hello everyone, there's no one here yet. So we thought I'd do a quick live stream. I was going to make a YouTube video, but um, let's get straight. The YouTube videos I want to make at the moment are quite in depth, and the videos that take a lot of time to build up and edit and stuff, so I'm not going to do that, I don't think, at the moment. I had time tonight and I thought, well, might as well jump on the live and see if anyone comes on. But the thing I wanted to talk about is I've just got a couple of crypts and Amazon swords and Ponjigitans, and I thought, well, let's talk about plans that I've got, because I'm running two different types of planted tanks, and what I'm finding is I've got a juxtaposition between the types of planted tanks I'm enjoying and the types of planted tanks I'm putting out on the internet and talking about on YouTube and stuff. And I wanted to talk about the juxtaposition between what I'm doing in-house on my personal tanks, and then like these are my YouTube channel tanks that I'm sharing on YouTube. And I think, well, I want to tie the two together, because in the house I'm kind of keeping crypts and stuff, and then out here I'm keeping a lot of stems in the house, but out here I'm keeping like a lot of bigger plants and heavy root feeding plants. And I kind of want to marry the two up, because obviously outside in the shed I'm doing a lot of like dirted stuff and heavy root feeding stuff. In the house I'm doing like CO2, highlights, and I kind of want to marry the two different things up, because they don't, like, two different types of fish keeping or plant keeping, and I want to tie it up because I want to do out here what I'm enjoying in the house. Hi mate, you okay? How are we? How's the audio? I've got a thanks for the likes. I've got a new mic and I'm not sure how it's sounding on air, so I thought I'd give it a... You cool, are you? Is right. I haven't spoken to you for a while, mate. I haven't seen you around on YouTube. A couple of the guys that I was talking to around about the time I started talking to you, it sounds decent, is right. New mic, if it goes off, let me know, because I don't know whether I've charged it properly and stuff. But a couple of the guys I've noticed with I used to talk to around you, you've been uploading. Why am I not getting the notifications? Well, I'm gonna have to check it. I'll check that after the live stream, because mostly short. Oh, okay. Well, I'll check in on them and watch a few at least later after I finish the live, because I haven't seen you for ages, and you know, the lads who support my channel, I obviously like showing love back, so I'll have to check it out. Say what? 74,000 views. Wow. On the channel. That's some decent views there. I know some quite big channels who aren't getting, or what I consider quite big channels, who haven't got anywhere near that amount of views. So I hit Premier Aquatics up the other day. I got an ocelot, Amazon sword, I got a cripple Ansay. It was a grind though. Yeah, YouTube's an absolute grind. That's one of the things I want to talk about on the live stream tonight, because 6 months ago I was putting videos out and I was getting like 70,000 impressions on the video, and put a video out today and I think it's at about 250 impressions, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Someone needs to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm not going to get views if I haven't got impressions. Mr. Fishbait, how are we doing? It's Fish Farm. Last fish I bought was a golden tench and a grass carp. They're pond fish. Are you back doing the ponds? They're quite big pond fish actually. Like, I love tench, and obviously you've seen me goldfish. I love carp, don't I? So obviously the goldfish style of carp. So this cripple Ansay I have ordered it in the past, and the ones that have come didn't look like this. This looks like a small, like, crinum, a Ponjigitans type plant, and like I'm absolutely buzzing with it. It looks stunning. The Amazon sword, the ocelot, it's a red. I got a green down in the tank down here in the dirty tank. Can't see any red on it. Pure and simple. On the daily quiz. Oh, have I gone live while the daily quiz is on? Oh, fuming. I didn't even know I was going to do a YouTube video, and then I thought may as well just go live. No, but I love a pond for a dementia centre. But sorry, no, but I look after the pond for the dementia centre. Insane fish. Wow. Oh, I seen that pond, didn't I? How's that pond doing? So I can't believe I've gone live when Aquarium Daily's gone live. That's most of my subs will be over there watching that. So we're going to Pond Keaton as well. Also, you need to see my new logo. Well, it's your old logo on here. I can't see your new one. I'll have to check it out. So we've got Madagascar. Done loads of amazing upgrades. I'll have to check them out. I keep getting distracted now. So as I was saying, I'm looking at, I'm dirting the tanks out. I dirted that one. That's a textbook wall start tank. I'm looking at this one, Nanambulia or Limonophilia cecifolia. I'm getting a kick out of that. But like, I'm growing a lot of stems in the house. People are asking me, how do I balance the tank? How do I set this tank up? And limited edition merch. Cool. I love people who start their own merch lines and do their own merch. Like, I've got Aquatic Fanatic t-shirts and stuff, but they're not for sale, they're for me to wear. Like, got my mug down here, but when I got the logo done, I thought, well, I may as well do something with the logo. So I got a mug done, got a t-shirt. Like, I don't expect to sell anything. I don't think the channel's doing well enough to be people wanting to show me that sort of support yet. Well, might do in the future, but at the moment, you know, I'm happy doing what I'm out doing. So I'd say stems in the house, smashing them with CO2. People are saying, how do I balance the tank? Why aren't my stems doing the same as yours? No, there's no secret to it. I'm using highlighting CO2. So the higher your lights are, the more CO2 your plants want. Smash your plants with CO2 and then make sure they've got enough nutrients. They're going to fly. And it's not really that skillful. It's just like basic biology. The more CO2 they get, the more light they get, the more CO2 they need. The more CO2 they get, the more ferts they need. The more ferts they get, the faster they grow. If they've got all three and your tank's balanced. So what you need to do is dial them in. Evening, mate, how are we? Good to see you on. I didn't even plan to go live. I was going to make a YouTube video and decided, you know what, I'm just going to press play or record even and just talk to people, see who comes on. Have a bit of banter, talk about some plants and stuff. So that's my philosophy with plants. You know, with high tech, if you're running high CO2 lights, you need high CO2. If you're hitting them with high CO2, high ferts, and if it's out of whack, if you've got too much light and not enough CO2 and loads of ferts, I always say, generalisation, if you've got loads of lights, doing good, still learning lights and that. What do you want to know about lights? Like, we'll have a gab. I'll tell you what I know, you tell me what you know, and we'll talk lights. Because I'm running Hygers on here, I'm running the Fluval 3.0 plant light in the living room. To be honest, I can't see much of a difference in them, except for the fact that this one jumps up to 100 still, and these are the planted tank scene. Do you know what? Everyone bangs on at me, telling me like my plants look amazing and I'm flying with plants. But I still consider myself relatively new. I've had like, I used to use dirt just to grow a few. Like, what I found was let's keep it real, let's be simple, let's talk, let's be honest. Everyone was telling me, you know, plants will absorb all the nutrients out of your tank, feed your fish heavy. If you got plants in dirt, like, so I started throwing dirt in my tanks and planting in them. And when I first started, I couldn't keep plants alive, but then I found if I put them in dirt, I could keep them alive a bit better. So that's where my obsession with dirt came. And then someone was like, read this book, it's about some girl who's fascinated with dirt. And I read it and I was like, well, this seems to make sense with me. That's what I went with. And obviously I talk about it all the time, but obviously, like I say, I've got a juxtaposition where I'm like flying with the plants in the living room. But it's no secret. It's just high lights need high CO2. If you haven't got enough CO2, you need more CO2 or dial your lights down. It's just metabolism. The higher the light, the more CO2 they need, and like it's just not a secret. And then, but out here I'm running low tech and excuse me, low light, loads of ferts, hardly any CO2. Plants grow slower. I've got CO2 on one tank. It just makes things grow fast. The higher your lights are, the more CO2 you need. It's just so if you haven't got CO2, like you'll know, because if your lights are on too bright and you've got loads of nutrients in the tank, it doesn't have to be loads. Like I've got nutrients hanging around. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, mate, and see new changes. Right. It's like if you've got loads of light and loads of ferts, but you've got no CO2 in your tank, then you'll get algae outbreaks and you'll spot them and you'll be like, how do I deal with this? You just ramp your lights back, balance your ferts, just make sure, you know, just check your nitrates, phosphates, make sure they're, but like with your nitrates you want them below 20, ideally about 10, with your phosphates below 1, between 0.1 and 1. I usually aim for about 0.5 parts per million of phosphates. Like if you're keeping plants, you should have a phosphate test kit, in my opinion, because it'll solve loads of problems. I've got nitrates. Well, obviously I've got a basic test kit with ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. Test all them. Excuse me, and then I test me phosphates and my potassium. And what I find with dirty tanks is potassium's through the roof. So the likes of your Amazon swords, stuff like Amazon swords, your Java ferns, anything that is an absolute potassium hog. Love them conditions, because like a lot of the ferts we buy from the shops, they're low in potassium. Like if you go and check out TNC Complete, I've got, no I haven't, I'm telling you fibs, I've got my TMC I in here, my TNC Complete in the house, but whoa, nearly knocked the camera over there, but like as I say, but in the data tanks I'm finding potassium's through the roof. Like obviously I prefer dirt, like I prefer dirt to aqua soils. Everyone tells me aqua soils look better. I don't think little balls of dirt at the bottom of your tank look good. If you get a potassium drop, could you put banana skin in to bring it up? Do you know what, that's a boss question, that, mate, because like I was like at this epiphany when I was talking on a live stream, and I was like, so I've got shrimp, I was talking about shrimp, and I was like, I can feed them spinach. Speak soon, mate, take care. I don't know why I'm shouting at you. I just shouted. Like you're off in the distance. Like you're going to hear me if you've gone. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So I was reading, I was like, so if I put like spinach in, or all these vegetables with like loads of calcium and magnesium, and we shrimp eat them, will that boost the levels? And I googled it on AI chat, and AI chat was like, yeah. And I was like, well, what about potassium with bananas? And it was like, yeah, like it'll, like whatever's the shrimp are eating, the pooping out. I don't know how to put it more politely. I don't know whether it'll have significant levels, but like to me it's worth a try. Surely if they're eating it and expelling it and it's getting into your tank, surely it's going to raise the levels significantly eventually. Or that's something I might play with, actually. Like, because what I was going to do tonight, and like every time I come live I just talk about what like I've got planned for the next 3 months and tell everyone everything. Can't help myself. Cheers, Fish Farm. So what I was going to do with the video tonight is I was going to test all like my basics, talk about it from a wall stab method point of view, because obviously the ferts we use are complete fertilizers, aren't they? So like you don't do water changes anymore to get rid of the nitrates so much. It's more about balancing your tank, balancing the nutrient levels in the tank, because obviously if you put that in and your plants mostly want, say, nitrate, and then they absorb all the nitrate, and the potassium, the potassium, the phosphates and everything else is still sitting in your tank because they've hardly used any of it, then you need to reset that balance at the end of the week. So you do like 50% plus water change, and then after that you put your ferts in, and it just keeps the tank balanced. So, but you can't do that with a dirty tank if you're just feeding fish food. Like, things are out of kilter all the time, aren't they? So you have to test each one, see where they are, because you're not dosing a complete fertilizer that's balanced. So, and if your tank's not balanced, like, it's like that Liebig's law of the minimum. So you got all your macronutrients and your micronutrients, and then you got your CO2 and your light, and whichever's the limiting factor will slow your plant growth down. Like, so if, say, like, you had no nitrates in the tank, then that's your limiting factor. The plants can't use your nitrates, and I kind of see them as like protein on a, you know, like with your roast dinner or something. So you got like your protein, your carbs, and your veg. You know, your carbs. Like, it's a rough analogy. It doesn't really make sense to anyone else, I don't think. But like, you got your macronutrients, your micronutrients. You got your nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. You got your CO2, and like, but that, like, whatever's the limiting one, that's what's going to stop your plant from growing. So you need to balance it out. Otherwise, you can limit. Like, if there isn't enough light, your plants are just not going to do well at all. But if you've got too much light and, say, not enough CO2, and you've got nutrients in your tank, that's where you get your algae outbreaks. Yeah, exactly. It's like balance. Like, everyone's talking about vibration and balance at the moment, aren't they, with lifestyles and stuff. But in my wall start tank and in planted tanks, in data tanks in general, we're not dosing a complete fertilizer. So we've got all things going out of kilter, and if I'm completely honest with you, it's like, I've got dwarf lily bulbs down here, and they all have big holes in the other week, and I was like, well, that's it. Big hole, like holes in your leaves, is a phosphate deficiency or potassium. Phosphate, I'm sure it's phosphate. I'm kind of like, because the camera's on me, I'm you know, kind of puts you on the spot, doesn't it? But phosphate, but the holes look too big for phosphate, if I'm honest. So tested everything along the gauge, from like macronutrients, stuff like your GH. You got calcium, magnesium. I've tested them, and well, I haven't tested them individually. I've just tested my GH, and that was at 6. So I'm like, well, that's a decent ballpark figure. I know it should be like 8, but 6 isn't too. At least it's there. And then my KH was about 7, so it's got a bit of hardness in the water. So everything was, and I was like, well, what's going on? And then the snails there, and I'm thinking of the snails eating it, like, because the holes look too big. Yeah, do you know what I'll do? Like, I'm gonna be a divvy, get my hand in the tank, snap one off and show you. Give us a sec. Sorry about this. I know it's I don't know why I'm shouting. I've got my microphone on. Right, so I'll just snap this leaf off. It'll be going in the bin anyway. But look at these holes. Like, see that? They're not. That's not the fish. Like, see that little hole there? I don't know whether you can see. Like, there's a little hole. Now that would be a deficiency, but not big holes. Like, so I'm thinking the snails are eating it. So I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. It's really bugging me, like, because I've been in there. Can I? Pond snails. I've got pond snails and ramhorn snails in there, and it's driving me up the wall, you know, because like, one of my favourite plants is my dwarf lily, and this is why I'm into dates, bladder snails and ponds. To me, I lump them together. I see them as like similar type of snails, and ram's horns. There's just, I don't know, I think the bad news for like softer leaf plants like Amazon swords, dwarf lilies, but like the crypt, it had all like, you know, like they call it crypt rot, don't they, where it's all like slimy and pussy on the I can't believe just. And then the snails just, they just sat on the bulb and just cleaned it all, and it's like gone white now. It was like a yellowy orange at the top, or like an orangey red, but like the snails cleaned that up and the shrimp were on it picking away at it, and it's bright white now. It looks really healthy. What can cause anubias to get black dots on the leaves? That's a good question. That, like, dying leaves, whereas bladders, they'll eat healthy plant. Really? I'm gonna have to. I don't know whether to reset my tanks, you know, and I might get some assassin snails in there. Because I was going to say, that's my, the likes of me Anubias and me Boots and stuff, anything that's like really slow growing leaves, that don't mind lower light, I'll kind of hide them under a bigger plant. Because there's two different types of black I've found on the leaves. The loads. So, what do you reckon about me putting assassin snails in my tank, mate? I've been toying with the idea today. Best bet. Yo-yo loach. I'm thinking about that. I'm getting to the point now where, like, I used to believe that snails were a good thing in your tank, especially in planted tank, because like I was saying, with the likes of the crinum and some of them, it'll clean them up and they'll go over the leaves. I never thought of snails in a tank. Do you know, like, I've always seen them as a good thing in the past, but now I'm starting to think that wouldn't be a bad move, or even yo-yo loaches. Which one of the yo-yo loaches, are they the one that's on my group? On the, as the banner? Because, like, I could have a go with them, not a problem. Because I've got assassins down here. Well, I don't know whether I've still got them. I got a while ago, and I've been taking a few snails out and popping them in, and I was going to make a YouTube video on them, but then someone else, I throw some in my pond, don't like to kill them. That's my problem with some of these things. I don't like to kill them. And at my expense sometimes, like when I'm working with shrimp, assassin snails are no good, aren't they? So, by the sounds of it, Lolo Yoach sounds like a rap. So yo-yo loach, I'm gonna. That sounds like a good idea. My assassin snails are in with shrimp. See, I've seen get some pea puffers. They will do all the snails, all the small snails. I had pea puffers in the past. I've heard people call them murder beans, and I had them in, like, if anyone's on my Instagram, I had them in my first wall start tank. Set up the wall start tank, and I used like loads of compost, and I just got black everywhere. Like all my Anubias leaves and that were covered in, and I was like cleaning it off, and I was thinking, this isn't what do you call it, algae? It isn't what's it called, blackbeard algae. It's too soft and it just comes straight off. And it was like a black cyanobacteria that like coated all my stones and then went up the glass side the tank and then just like covered everything. They're fine. A mono cleaned my Anubias. What does everyone think about a mono shrimp, guys? But as I say, in my first tank there was pea puffers and I couldn't keep any with. And I just remember they were like little aquatic helicopters. You'd see them go past them. I've been like, they're just so fascinating to watch. But if I'm honest, I don't know what I'd do with them after they sorted my snail problem out. Because they're angry little buggers, aren't they? You'd see them and you'd see a snail walking along the grass and they just go boom, and that'd be it. And then it's just that cool to watch. But like, I'd walk up to the tank and I'd look, and it was only like a 70-80 litre tank, but it was like quite short but quite deep, and I'd look in and you wouldn't be able to see any of them. The next minute you just see these little like peas through the water, and they were like dead cool, and They used to come up to the glass, but I keep on and I'm shrimping them. Best cleaners there are, apart from auto sinklers. See, this is what I need to do. Like, I'm at a stage where I'm keeping the plants and I'm not keeping the cleanup crew, if I'm honest. With assassin snails, I'm worried because they dig, don't they, in the substrate, if I'm right. So I don't want them disturbing my soil, and like, because obviously I've got the dirty tanks. And that was one of the things I wanted to touch on this evening, because I'm monos and autos in every tank if I can. I might have a go at all mono shrimp, to be honest. Like, I want to set, like, I want to come up with a decent cleanup crew. I was thinking like cherry shrimp and snails, but snails are obviously causing me problems, so I think I'm going to be getting shut of the snails and shrimp. I might set up a hospital tank for plants like this one, maybe, so I can get them in. I keep rabbits in mine, it's capped. Really? It's like, because when you cap it, the thing I think about is your CO2 is coming out of the soil, isn't it? Like, as the bacteria break down. I've heard that our mono shrimp are like the best shrimp for looking after planted tanks, so I'm gonna have to have a go. If my sound disappears, let me know. I'm just checking me, because it's a new mic. I thought it'd splash out and make me Big Fish Lad recommended this mic, so I thought I'll give it a go. I use Amazon and Hillstream loaches for cleaning. Hillstream loaches are one of the, like, I call them monos. Did that do it? Did that do an autocorrect on you? That's driving me mad. It's never duck, is it? No one's ever said duck. The autocorrect's never had to write duck, because it's not duck. But I do want like a cleanup crew. I was thinking snails and shrimp. The thing is with mono shrimp is you can't breed them. I want to, but yeah, the loaches, I've always wanted loach and Hillstream loach, and I don't know why I've never bought them. I call them stingray for poor people. It's like little miniature stingray, aren't they? Look that cool. Very rare. Do you know what? Some of the algae and bladder snails I grow are I'm definitely got I've got it own. Do you know what? I was looking for what sort of temps do they live at, guys? Can they live at rainbows? Like, I run my tanks up at 24. Poor man stingray. So I'm getting stuck in the chat. I'm talking to everyone in the chat. Let me just give you 10 minutes of like my health cold water with the White Cloud Mountain Minnows. See, like, if anyone knows me, they know I absolutely love goldfish, and so I'm into more like temperate fish, and so like Hillstreams and White Cloud Mountain Minnows are right in there. So nice. From 19, I'm mono and almost bulletproof, mate. Like, so I'm in two minds. Like, so I've got this tank full of cherry shrimp, and I don't know whether to get, like, I've had enough of this tank. I'm not loving it. It's a 5-foot tank. It's the biggest lengthways tank I've ever owned, and I've just kind of, because I heated the fish room, set the fish room up, like, I kind of didn't do anything with that tank, and now I'm regretting it. I just kind of project after project went in there, and now I've got a ton of cherry shrimp, but they're like, and I'm buzzing off the cherry shrimp, but the rest of the tank I'm like over, and I'm just like, I used to, like, I moved from the other house to here, and my fish room in the other house, as far as I'm concerned, was amazing. Like, I had like the likes of Corey, I don't want to change it to cold water because I've got Goida River rainbows in here that like about this big now, and they start off as eyelashes. See, the problem with Plex is, or so I've been told, is they shave the on like the likes of the Amazon sword stuff, that soft leaves. They'll like as they're rasping on it, they'll shave the surface of the leaf. That's no one's ever told me that in a capacity where I'm like, right, that's definitely what's going on. But it's it's a myth I've heard or a rumour, and I don't know what the basis is, because a lot of people who tell me they've had that, they show me, and I'm like, it's a blatant nitrate deficiency or nitrogen deficiency in your tank. The leaves are brown, like they're melting away. I found that with bristlenose on my Anubias as well. See, this is where I'm at, guys. I'm kind of like, I set everything up as like, I've got half a project here and half a project there. And if I'm honest, like most of the stuff in this fish room now, and in my planted tank in the house, my high-tech tank, if I'm honest, I'd pick it all up tomorrow and just take it to fish shop, just throw it at them and say, give me some store credit. And if I had the time to do it as well. See, that's another thing, they knock me, like I've got potted plants of Anubias and like Boos and narrow leaf Java fern right at the back. I've got this stunning narrow leaf Java fern, and I can't see it. I've never showed you it, and it's just there. And then I've got my Crenum Tyanum. Now, I always bitch about this on the. Can I say that on YouTube? I always moan about it on. Well, I said it now. I was moaning about it on the internet, and I've got this love-hate relationship with it. Some days I'll come in, it'll look like it's flying. I'm like, oh, I love that plant. I didn't want it. I wanted the Crenum natans. That's all I ever talk about, the Crenum natans. Keith gets cancelled. It's all right. I'll go on there. I can say what I want till I get monetized. It doesn't look like I'm getting monetized very soon anyway. I don't know what's going on with my channel, but like 6 months ago, I'd put a video out, and it over a weekend it'd get like 50,000. Your Crenum's just died. Wow. What Crenum was it? Like, everyone knows Crenum's my favourite plant, don't they? Like, I've got 2 Crenum natans on the way to me at the moment. Now, when I say I've got 2 Crenum natans, the first one I ordered was Crenum Tyanum. The second one I ordered, I waited 2 weeks and then the order just got cancelled, it got refunded. The third one I ordered, it fell off the bulb and just disappeared. What? Was it, did it have thin crinkly leaves or quite thick crinkly leaves, or were they like thicker straight leaves? I keep looking at this crypt. Balance, is it? Crenum calamastratum it'll be, which is what I've got down here. It's an absolutely stunning little plant. But that, at the moment, I've got this love, like I'll come in and be like, wow, it's amazing. I've got it in dirt as well, in like a pond basket. But as I say, I don't know how much of the stuff, like this tank is staying where it is. This tank, I've got my blue shrimp in it and I don't know what to do with them. And I want someone to tell me to do something with them. And I keep asking people and no one answers me. But I've got my reds and I'd like to, I don't want them in the space I've got them in here. I'd like to pick them up and put them somewhere else. You want me shrimp? If you want, I want blues. Or is it? Why not do a small nano tank? Planted just with the shrimp. What plants were they used? Were they dirty? Were they not dirty? Like my I was going to get some. I'll tell you what I'll do, right? Seeing the both of yous of, I've got 3 25 litre tanks down here. Oh yeah, Horizon came on. Hello. Just totally blocked them. Don't leave. Don't. I'm not being rude. I'm just getting excited over comments in the chat. So I've got 3 tanks. What I'm thinking of doing is there anyone on who's got yellow shrimp or any other Neos who wants a load of cherry shrimp? And I'll do you the swap. I'll do 2 for 1. You can have 2 of mine if I can have one of yours. If I can get yellows, oranges. I was going to say jades then. Got no chance of getting jades off anyone. Any other colour, like I'd have chocolates. You got loads. Do you want to swap some yellows for reds? I've got at the moment. I've got enough blues to set up a colony, and I'll do you like a deal where I'll give you some of me. Well, post, can't we? I mean, we can get someone to teach us. Get yourself off. Go and upload that video. But like I could set these up and do planted. What plants would I do? Tell me if I should date them. I want yes or no in the comments. Should I date these tanks? I'm gonna wait till you answer me. Just gonna... We can get Glenn to show us how to do it. Apparently it's that easy. Yeah, so dating it. So I'm dating these tanks. So because I've got one, yeah. You're supposed to be doing shrimp swaps with me. Yeah. Like if anyone wants shrimp, I'll do deals with them. I would. Maybe Java. Java and... I do crips all day, like that crip balance I've got the... Is it balance? Tell me, yeah. Because I've been saying balance, like I've been looking at it on... I might be driving to MK Don soon, anywhere near you. Midlands, isn't it? Oh, I don't do thick sand caps. Every time I've done a thick sand cap, I've had problems with the tank. In my experience, it's gravel works for me. I've never really had any luck with dirt with sand. Once in this one, when I had a ton of crips here, and then they flew for a bit. They were absolutely massive, never grown crips like it in my life. And then they all just melted. I don't know why they melted, but they all just... I had lucens, I had Wendetti, and they all just melted. I'm using the Tetra Complete, seems to be where you need soil nutrients will leach out. Oh, well, that's what I want, mate. That's the reason why the nutrients are in there. And plus, I can burn them off before I start. I can mineralise the soil outside. And I tend to use mild soils anyway and feed heavily to fertilise my plants. No, I don't. I'm doing it now. That's what I'm thinking of doing anyway. I don't know whether to do that or I want to get the shrimp tank set up. Pond soil. I use I don't know what happened there, guys. It just disappeared on me. So, but I'm thinking of doing like crips is a good idea. Is there any other like heavy roof feeders I can get my head round? I looked away, looked back, and everyone had gone. So I'm loving this balance, if that's how you pronounce it. And there's a few other crips that like I'd like to set up some crips are slow that like, and that brings me back to what I'm saying. Like, so in the house I'm smashing Glenn's in the house. Can you show us? What do you want to see? Do you want to see the crypt? Let's see if alright, so there's a crypt there, and then the pot that the plecos have been playing with, that's a Madagascar lily plant, and then that's a Amazon sword ocelot. So I've got the ocelot at the back. There is the ocelot green. I've got the ocelot red, and then I've got a Rubens in here, but they're growing like quite. This just throws out leaves all the time. And then behind that, I've got some Bacopa caroliniana. The foul fine at the back. I've got Pontigeton over there. I think that's, I can't remember. Is it Longsy Plumas or the, can I ever pronounce them? Your pink flamingo all melted. Yeah. Tempted to ocelot mine grows, but never very high. That's what mine's like down there. It's just at the back. What else have we got going on in here? I don't know what's going on with the stream, guys. Like, I never usually have internet problems. I'm back. It looks, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get on my internet connection and swap it over to me 5Gs. If it goes off, it goes off. I'll come back or something. So that's me planted tanks. Is everyone still there? Saying there's 8 in the chat and 4 likes. What? Is it better now? I'm just gonna have a quick. Horizon's back in the house. Is that better? Thumbs up, everyone. Looks better. It's right. So give me 10 minutes, guys, to just, or 5-10 minutes just to talk without me checking. I'm not going to read the comments until I finish this, because I keep trying to say, I keep going to talk and I get distracted by everyone in the comments. So here we go. Right, so in the house, got a high-tech tank, and I keep talking about it, and like, now I've gone into me talking dead fast because I'm trying to get it out before I forget. And I run a high-tech, run CO2, high lights, loads of fit, and I get people saying to me, how do you grow your stems like that? And it's like I was saying before to the guys in the chat, it's no secret, it's just a high-tech tank. And then in here, like, I've got stems in here and they grow slowly because the light's lower, there's no CO2 in there, and then I'm not using as much nutrients because of it. It's all about balance, it's that simple. So, but like the plants that are out here, I love these plants, and if I'm honest with you guys, like, don't hate me for it, but I'm gonna let you into a secret. Like, I'm not into stem plants anymore. I'm sorry if like everyone loves stem plants, but I've just seen them on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything for 10 years, and after 10 years I've seen the same thing, the same 5 plants over and over again. Like, people growing them, cutting them, planting them. It's just, I'm over them. I love big monster plants. Like, I want crenums and pontigetons and Amazon swords, and you know, I love dirt. Like, I've been doing it for years. I want to get like crypts, Amazon swords, lilies, everything that loves to eat at the roots. I want them in my tanks. But like, I'm thinking about like different, like I've been banging on about the wall start tank and the wall start method, but it's a low tech system. So like I'm running high tech in the living room on plants I'm not that fussed on, and I've got all these plants that I love in this low tech tank that, and they're just gonna take forever to do anything. And I'm like, and I'm listening to Father Fish talking, and Father Fish is like, his substrates, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's a massive nutrient sponge. It's, if I could have a dabble with what he's doing and apply it to what I'm doing, like, I just think I could, I don't know how to say it, like, I just feel like if I could hybridise what I'm doing with the Wallstab method and Father Fish method, tie it all together, use a bit of Father Fish's substrate with the, like, you know, he's using like the peat moss, and everyone hates on people using peat moss, but like in the UK we can order Irish peat moss, which is sustainably stored, sustainably sourced. It'll absorb loads of nutrients, keep it down there for the plants, and then I can do like crips and mint too. Like these are all the plants I'm into. Like I'm going dead scouse on everyone. I don't know why. I try and tone my accent down, and then I get dead excited and go on one. Start talking in a really thick Scouse accent for some reason. I'm not even a Scouser, am I? I'm from Birkenhead. But these are all my Pontiac crinums, lilies, swords, crips, anything that feeds at the roots. I'm thinking if I could do that, you know, if I could get all that substrate, it's okay now. What kid? So if I could get all that in the substrate going, get like something that's pulling in nutrients and making nutrients, and I'm even tempted to just see these hormones, like basement tomatoes. Like I was talking about my secret sauce, and this is it. You just read it anyway, so I may as well show you. Bonsai growers use it. It's just, what I find is if you smash rhizome plants with that, they explode like they're living in a high-tech land. So that's what I'm thinking as a substrate, get that capped. Highlights, CO2, ferts, hybrid method. That's the secret sauce. Like, if you got Val in your tank and you put it in your tank, the Val just like starts over in the corner and it's over here. Like it's here. It's thrown out. It's come from like, it's like 1.5 foot long. It just works, and then if I tell people, they're like, that doesn't work, that's silly. But I literally do what it says on here. I had like, whatever the directions are. I think it's like, don't leave the chat, guys, I'm just finding some info. What it's foreign. It's 40 mils per 10 litres. So, and I just do that in my tank, and everything that's like rhizomes, like my nubias start throwing out leaves. Can't bet a bit of secret sauce. So that's what I'm saying. Like I want to run something like the wall step or high tech. Loads of ferts, loads of nutrients, loads of light, loads of CO2. Boss dated substrate, capped. And you can, I'll talk to you again now. That's what I wanted to get across, and it took me 49 minutes. But that's where I want to go with it. Because, like I say, I'm over the stems, but I don't have shrimp in my CO2 tanks because I've got angels. And I've got Manica Peru angels. I bought them as a breeding project, and I don't know what to do with them. That tank in there, I've got L333 plecos, I've got gold laser cories, I've got Manica Peru angels. But the thing is I bought them, and no one in the area had angels, anything like that, and then I got mine out to breeding size. You got anglefish? I always do that. And to be fair, they are. Where are they? Mine aren't breeding. I've got everything in there as breeding projects, and now I'm kind of like over the idea of breeding them already, because I don't know whether everyone knows, but I set up a Facebook group called Amazon. I think it's Amazon, with a friend of mine. Everyone in the area, in my area, is breeding angels, plecos, cories, geo, like discus, everything to do with the Amazon. So I set this Facebook group up, and like I'm secretly fuming because it's doing better than me Aquatic Fanatics group. But it was my idea, and apparently I'm the group expert. It says, like, someone's added me as the group expert, but I wouldn't consider myself an expert on Amazon fish. These angels in here laid again. These angels in here, they lay every like 2 weeks, and the eggs just, I don't think the male's fertilising them, and I want to do something with this tank. That tank, it's the biggest tank I've had. I want to crane them the tans for it. I want to plant it right there, right in the middle of this half. Joffa. I'm the opposite. I've got the, most of my mates have got the biggest package with Sky. I've got the biggest package with child maintenance. I don't know why I just said that, man. I'm having fun. I want to get rid of all the duckweed in this room. It's doing me head in. It looks like I'm getting rid of my snails. I'm thinking of getting rid of my plecos. I take a carrier bag of duckweed out of this room at least once a week, maybe twice, and it's back within days. So I'm tempted, like I was saying to her before, like about 70% of what's in this room, I feel like picking up the fish shop, taking it, dumping it on the counter and saying, give me some store credit. I'd like to date this straight away. I'm kind of tempted to just throw some goldfish in and let them eat all the duckweed. This tank, when I used to have the two, what you call it in here, Sarasa Comets, I could fill it the top of this, and within a week they'd eat every little bit of duckweed. I've got two Sarasa Comets out there. I've got Pinky, and then I haven't got a name for the other one. But yeah, I've had the brain. I lost the brain. It was just Sarasa Comet, and it looked like Perky. Perky's definitely, I'm going with Perky, guys. You heard it on the chat. Pinky and Perky. Flamingo. Oh, that's what we were talking about before. Pink crypt melted. Pink flamingo crypt melted. I'm gonna have a little vape off screen, guys. But like I want to start moving away from talking about wall start tanks now and start just dating them and just talking about plants. Where did you get them from? Like I'm so tempted to get some. I'm so tempted to. I got some in the other tank, and when it came, it just didn't look right. It looked like the leaves had curled up. Maidenhead Taunton. Do you know what? I've never bought plants from a Maidenhead. My local Maidenhead. I used to buy a lot of coddles from them. Fish shop Matt's old place. Where MD used to go. Do you know why I haven't checked on? The brown tropical plots. I don't know how I feel. MD went today. Did he? I haven't like checked in on his channel for a while. Like I don't. It's a sealed pot. It's like the in vitro pots, was it, or something? Here's a wobble muster. I never see these. Oh, and it's got bristles on its nose. Here's Aquarium Delirium. He's in the chat. I've seen him for a while. Yeah, I've seen it. He posted on Christmas, not last year, maybe the year before when he just moved in. It was absolutely massive. He's flying with his planted tanks, isn't he? All the MD's fish tanks. I remember watching him when he just started and he had the little shed and he set it up. And then he set the big shed up. And then he got that's when I started watching him, and then he got the fish room, the studio thing, and he started dating all his tanks, and I thought this is well up my street, this. He's putting mud in fish tanks. And he like flying with them, wasn't he? I love his MD, I love his editing style. He knows how to make a YouTube video. He knows what like keep people in. That's it. I don't watch him anymore because I felt like it was just the same. I think he was better in his shed than when he first got in the studio and started dating stuff. Like, each to their own. He's a YouTube machine. That's like Joey Mullen. Like, people bash Joey, but like I used to love Joey back in the day. Like, Matt was a good cameo for me. Like, he was just good on MD's channel. I've watched Matt's. You know, everyone's into different things, and like I'm not saying anything is wrong with what it's not for me. It's not my type of YouTube. Like I don't like what am I watching at the moment? Like that's I can't even think what I'm watching at the moment. No, I'm not into fish going straight in the tank. Especially when you got dirt in the tank, because it takes about 8 weeks for the dirt to settle. I've just hit an hour, I didn't even realise I've been on an hour. Me? Well, obviously, Glenn. But what I tend to do is, like, when I'm on my 12-hour unsociable hour shifts in work, everyone will post videos and I'm, like, in work when they come up. And then I'll just binge watch on my day off. Like, I'll go in now after this and there's, what do you call it? Urban Exotics were in the chat before. Like, I'll go and, because he said he's done stuff, I'll go and binge watch them. Everyone, I'll just check and everyone and what, like, Patty's released a video, I haven't even checked that out yet. I want to check that. He's done like a tubbing video. That's right up my street, that, getting stuff outside in the sunshine. API, full stop, is chocolate ice cream. I've never had nitro goop is the future. Dead shrimp powder. None of it's as good as dirt. Dirt don't hurt, as Dustin says. It's one of his. Do you know? Sponsor wise, like, I look at his sponsors and I think I wouldn't use any of that. The API test kits. If you go back on like my Instagram, if you could scroll way back to before I had grey hair, I've got a thing where I got 2 API test kits and I've done the nitrate test, and what I'd done was a shook. Was it bottle 1 or bottle 2? Like, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you shake one of the nitrate bottles for like 30 seconds and you just give it for 30 seconds and then you dose. Like, I've done it and I put it on the side, and then I got another one and I shook it rapidly. Like, for some reason I'm like really good at shaking rapidly with this hand. So I've done it for 2 minutes and then I've done it again. And the one I shook like a little bit for 30 seconds was the one I shook for 30 seconds was yellow still, and the one I shook for 2 minutes was bright red. Same water, same test kit. It just doesn't, like, how'd you do that? And since, like, someone said to me, try it. And I did, and I was like, what's going on here? I've tried it with the NT Labs and I can't get the same. I can't get the same thing to happen. I used to be a window cleaner, that's what it was, like that good wrist action. I don't know what you used to thinking about, because you're all putting laughing faces, and I was just, you know, loads of, I'm good at cleaning windows. I don't even clean windows anymore. No, I'm alright. You get a clicky wrist cleaning windows. Oh, it's gone now. A lot of window cleaners get that carpal tunnel syndrome, don't they? But it's definitely given me stamina in my wrist. I don't know what you were thinking about. So, what else was, there was something else I wanted to talk about. So I was going to make a video on testing, going through ammonia nitrite, nitrates, because I've been putting videos out on YouTube that I just want to kind of nail down the basics of the Wallstad theory. Too much ham shanking. Oh. And then what I want to do is, Glenn knows what I want to do, because Glenn's sorting me out again. And so I want to test them all and then balance everything in the tank, show people how it's done. So then, like, all my Wallstad basic stuff is done. So when people say to me, that's not how you, like, because I want to go for this, like, call it the hybrid method, and it's not me calling it that. It's already out there on the internet, and it's been on the internet for at least 10 years. But I want to have a play with a few different things. But then if someone says, well, that's not how you do it, I can say, well, go and see all my old content. Like, I already know what I'm talking about. I'm not making it up as I go along. But this tank. So, what does everyone think about the holes in my leaves then? I'm not egotistical enough to create my own method and tell people I've created my own method. And plus, Diana Wallstad wrote in her book, it says, I think it's in a book or it's in one of the things, and it basically says, like, something along the lines of, this isn't set in stone, this is to be played with. So now that's canon and she's written that, then every dirty tank instantly becomes the wall stab method. Do you plant your, or do you place weights on them? Everything. I float it, I planted it in gravel, I keep the lead on. People have shouted at me for keeping stuff in lead, but plants absorb heavy metals anyway, so I've never had a problem with lead in my tank. People have shouted at me for it, but what works for me works for me. The wall keep method. Bladder snails are the guilty party. KC and the sunshine method. Father fish method, 1 inch dirt, 2 inch sand. Father fish can tell you about his method. Like, I've never seen enough information to make an informed decision on that method, to be honest. See, that's Shane's saying something that I tried to say something in one video and everyone went mad at me because I was like, "You can't wall start," was the title of the video, and everyone came on was like, "How dare you?" Yeah, I can. But what I was saying is, when we all start out in fish keeping, shrimp keeping, like aquarium keeping, we all feed what we think is a light amount or a heavy amount. But like I said, my mate up the road says he's a light feeder and I consider myself a heavy feeder, and he put up about 10 times as much food in the tank as I would. Clickbait, we know. And what you call it? So I was like, well, he feeds well heavier than me. And so obviously as we get more experienced in the hobby, then we start doing water changes based on, we start having success based on changing a certain amount of water to balance what we're doing. So that becomes our method. So when Diana Wallstad says, or say like, anyone says, well, I feed lightly compared to what, we don't know what they consider to be light. And their success and experience have been based around that. So that's what I meant by you can't wall start, because you don't know what she means by light. It's quite subjective. Phil's Fish Room's online. That's me mate I've just been talking about, who said he was a light feeder but feeds about 10 times as much as me. Whereas I consider myself a heavy feeder. So subjective. So as we get experience looking after tanks, we gauge naturally how much water to change based on Mal, do you use his supplements? So we change how much water we think, so that we figure out what works for us. And it's the same with plants in a planted tank. Like I was watching, MD was saying he's learned which plants will do well in his water. I find I've got certain plants that it doesn't matter how many times I put them in my water and what the water parameters are, they just, like Hygrophila penetrifida, just as soon as I put it in, it just melts. I had it growing. It was growing out the nodes and the stems were rotten, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. If anyone's got any impulse on that, like, I'll be fascinated, because I've tried it about 4 times and it'll be growing and melting at the same time. Like the stems will be melting. Everyone's gone quiet in the chat. I tell you what, I've got so many shrimplets in here at the moment. Everywhere I look, there's shrimplet like that big. My great point, keep my plant nightmare is the easiest job for Mal. I've always had this argument that Java fern is one of the easiest plants to keep alive, but one of the hardest plants to make look nice. As I say, my Pinnacle Fighter, I put it down here in my low-tech tank. I've had it in this tank, I've had it in a high-tech tank, I've had it in a Worsted tank, and in every variation of tanks, I've had it growing at the tips, like the tips have been expanding and growing, and the stem's been rotten at the same time, like the whole stem behind it's rotted, and I've been like, alright, it's melting. I'm used to dealing with stems melting, I'll float it, but it just won't go. I'm having success with it now, and the only difference is my light in said tank. See, that two good points there. Brown bush in a month. It's probably a. Have you got in a dirted tank, Mal? It's this one for some reason. I can't even see it, but it looks like it's doing all right while it's hidden behind everything else. The narrow leaf in my high-tech tank's flying, and I dosed that with TNT complete. Java moss is my nemesis. I've put about 20 quid's worth of Java moss in this tank, and you can't see any of it. I can see, like, every now and again the plecos will kick out like a little sprig of it, and I'm like, well, where is it? Because it's obviously there. But I'll put that much in that the whole bottom of the tank should be covered in it, all the wood should be covered in it. I got that. It's in a tank with master soil, funny enough. The Chapman. If I'm asking questions, guys, like I'm learning from your experiences, crypts, false swords, and newbies, everything. You know, just your fan. Never buy again. I got that stuff off a guy, gave me a carrier bag full of the stuff, and it was all black, and it's in the pond now outside. Mine just seems to melt. It was, and I put it in with the snails and shrimp. Same capacity every other week. Have you got in a dirted tank, Mal? The Java. Because my dirted tanks are naturally really high in potassium. Am I telling the truth? Yeah, I'm telling the truth. They're higher than a planted tank. If I'm dosing with ferts. So I'm just wondering whether yours are one high in potassium like mine, which I can't see no reason why they shouldn't be. And another thing I find works well is shading them. Do you know what, guys? I wasn't expecting so many to come on the chat. Come and watch me. I just kind of, like I kept saying, I was going to make a video and thought, you know what, I'm just going to hit the live button and have a chat to anyone who comes on. And then I got shouted at in the chat because Aquarium Daily was doing a live, and I was like, oh, so I just jumped on someone's thing. So smash the thumbs up. But everyone, I'm joking. My phosphorus was high in dirted tank. Mine's quite low in mine, actually. I don't know why. I was expecting it to be through the roof. Everyone I've seen do a dirted tank, and whenever I've done a dirted tank, it's usually at 2. And in this tank it's at like 0.5. So I'm quite surprised at that. But like I was saying before, with epiphytes, I tend to hide them under something else. So like I've got this twig here, bloody big branch, and it's kind of shaded by all the stems. Now, if I had I've done it in here with the LOD kind of shades, all me, and then obviously I've got the floating plants in the top of the tank. I find with me epiphyte plants, if I have them straight under the light, the leaves always go black. the API leaf zone. I love TLC Complete. Glenn sells this stuff. Glenn, tell us about this stuff in the chat. API Aquadip Plan Plus. Sell it to us. Tell us what's so good about it. Because we don't know, because Aquadip don't tell us. So we want to know whether it's good. I've tried it. Like, to be fair, when I've dosed the tanks with it, I should try it for a while. What happened to the screen then? I'm just gonna 25 to 10. What does everyone think about the Aquadip plant food? Everyone on UK aquatic plants bangs on about TNC Complete, so I've used that for quite a few years. And I nearly bit the bullet and went with, me and Glenn were talking about this the other day, estimated index ferts, where you make all the bottles up and you test all your water. So what made me first pick up a camera and upload? That's a good question. Because I've got my old channel, which is just kind of, I was recording for forums just so I could post videos on forums. But I watched one of Big Fish Lad's videos, and he said, I was like, I'd love to do like a proper YouTube channel where I'm talking and sharing stuff, and like, it wasn't like a proper YouTube channel, my first one. It was just me sharing stuff for people, like, so I could record it and put it on a group or a forum. So I said to Big Fish Lad, I'd love to do that, and he said, do it. So I just picked up my camera and made my first video on this channel there and then, and posted it, and then thought, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about for the rest of my YouTube. And I've just kind of been winging it at the moment. I just see what people are interested in me talking about, and then if I talk about something and people are interested in it, I kind of test it with a bit more. And I'd done that wall start hack video at Christmas, and it got like, overnight it got like 60,000 impressions, and it got about 6,000 views. So I was like, well, everyone's into the wall start method then. Put another video out, that flew. I got about 2,000 views. So, but it was definitely Big Fish Lad jumping on, like, telling me to go for it. Like, he said just do it, so I picked the camera up, made my first video, and then I think my second video was a look at my dirted tank in the living room, which was sand. I done peat moss and sand, and what I found is everything in there just went really nutrient deficient. All the Amazon swords were shutting down, so I closed it, and then I've still got the Amazon swords, and the crypts are all in here still, but they just kind of were withering away. They were getting smaller and smaller. I got them in the low-tech tank out here, and they started coming back. So I've had these plants for 2-3 years maybe, but they just weren't doing very well, and then they weren't doing very well in the tank after. I've set this tank up, and straight away leaves coming out twice the size, and there's a couple of them aren't doing too well, if I'm honest. They're just they're surviving, they're not thriving, but hopefully if I leave this tank alone, let it do what it wants, these will take off. But like I said, I've got that, it must be snails that's eating them leaves. But if snails are eating my lily leaves, I can't have snails anymore, because like I say, for me it's Crenham rules the roost, then the Pontiacetans, then lilies. Now, if I could only keep 3 plants, it'd be them. Now I love my crypts, love my swords, love Val. Val's cool. The snails only eat bad leaves. Well, I'm starting to hear most snails only eat bad leaves, but some of them will eat pond snails or bladder snails. Will eat anything with soft leaves. So I'm not sure what to... We said yo-yo loaches. Glenn, are you still there? Just say yeah if you are, no if you're not. It takes about 30 seconds, 45 seconds for a comment to come through. What I want to know is that on my group, on my Facebook group, is that a yo-yo loach? Because I'm not sure. I could go and ask the shop tomorrow, get one. Don't think Glenn's in the chat no more. So if I get one of them put in there, because like I'm not having... the cover photo, I'm not sure whether that's a I can't say yo-yo loach. I've got to concentrate on saying it. I'll go and get one. Like I say, I'm literally thinking about picking about 70% of everything up. Oh, it's a coolie loach, that's it. So it's not a yo-yo loach. They're similar. What are you doing, mate? Oh, he doesn't do that. What are you doing, fella? Me, Wabba Mustard's still here. That's your pick, yeah. You won the competition. Did you get in touch with Glenn over that, by the way? I've been trying to boost the activity on that page, but I just can't seem to get... I thought there was someone else. I was trying to boost the activity on that page. I set it up as sort of like, so we can have some banter when I'm, you know, because the way I see it, like people are only... I put a video out and then people will watch it for a couple of days and then it kind of goes on the back burner. Not being on. Oh, my battery's about to die on my phone, guys, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up, I think. I haven't got any way of plugging it in. I'm thinking of sorting it out to do over 100 people and only 2 or 3 entered. See, that's the thing with that group. I'm like pushing and pushing, trying to get some activity going. And I can't seem to get anyone talking on there, no matter what I seem to share. But like on the Amazon Facebook group that I inadvertently set up with a friend, that's flying. Like, it's just dead active and people are posting pictures of the angels and the discus and the plecos and the cories and stuff, and they're constantly chatting. But this group, I just can't seem to kickstart it, and I've admin so many Facebook groups over the years, and some of them have grown to like 60,000 members and stuff, but this group, I just can't seem to kick it off. It doesn't seem to matter what. Yeah, it's weird, like, and then I find that the perfect size for a Facebook group is 5,000 members, because at that sort of level you can remember everyone, or all the regulars. There's enough on there to keep the group active. But I find when it goes over about 5,000, then you start getting all the arguments. Like, all of a sudden everyone starts saying, no, that's not right. And then, like, all hell breaks loose. And then when you're in work, you just get loads of moderation alerts and stuff. And your group goes from being dead cool to... Thanks, Mal. I do think that. Shrimp is... So guys, while I've got you on, what content of mine that I put out is your favourite? Tell me in the comments. I need to know what you guys find the most interesting. Yeah, your shrimp one's nearly 1,000. It has been fun. I love getting on talking to everyone. I love, like, that's the thing that I'm kind of a bit deflated with making videos, because when I go live, you guys are there talking to me back, and like you can't beat the interact. Like, so you can ask me what you want, and I can ask yous. My favourite type of content is definitely plants, talking plants. But like for me, it's a certain type of planted tank, it's dirt and big rosette plants. And like I say, I'm kind of over stems now, because it's just a case for me. All stems means to me is ramp your lights right up, get your CO2 going, dose it with ferts once a week, do 50% water change once a week, and then once a month you prune them, plant them, bin the crop stems. The old Rob. And it's just been that for a while now, and I'm just like, I'm over that. I want to team stems. I'm team rosettes, Pongigetans, crenums, lilies, anything heavy root feeders. Take care, guys. Glenn, I'm gonna shoot as well now, guys, so my battery's about to die. Thanks very much for joining me. What was I going to say then? I'm Team Tubber. So I'm going to shoot. Thanks for joining me, guys. Like, I need to start making this a regular thing and putting a notification out and going live and actually having something I want to talk about. Take care, guys. Right, I'm going to shoot. Take care.